In this video, we'll be discussing formal charges. Now, formal charges is important in organic chemistry. Really is important in chemistry in general. Now, there's a formula that you need to know before you can even do a formal charge until you get good enough where you can do it without it. And the formula that is used in your textbook is this. It's F, which is formal charge, is equal to Z minus 1/2 S minus U. Now, there's an easier formula that I will be teaching you in this video that you can use, and it's easier to remember, which I think. So let's do that real quick. And that formula is F is equal to valence electrons minus the sum of bonds plus dots. You heard that correctly, dots. So the first one that we can do to use this formula and to get some practice, let's do ammonium, right? Where we picked off on the last video. So ammonium having 4 bonds, right? We notice that it has a plus charge, right? So that's what we'll be learning in this video. So let's do the formal charge of nitrogen and see why that, if that's really a matter of fact, I actually just give you the answer, but let's actually do the formal charge of nitrogen, right? So nitrogen is in group 5. That's how you can tell the number of valence electrons, by the group number, right? As we discussed in the previous video, on the bonding video. So it has 5 valence electrons minus the addition or the sum of bonds plus dots. Now there is 1, 2, 3, 4 bonds plus 0 dots, right? So it's 5 minus 4. 5 minus 4 is equal to 1, or in this case plus 1, right? So that's why nitrogen has a plus charge, a +1 charge, right? Let's move on to nitrate. Let's figure out the formal charge of nitrate. Let's do that real quick. So we have nitrate here, right? Right. Let's actually do. Let's draw it out, the dash formula, and then figure out or assign each atom its charge. So the way to go about this is by knowing that nitrogen is in group 5, so has 5 valence electrons, right? So plus there's 3 oxygen. Oxygen's is in group 6, so it's 6 times 3, which is 18. So it's 5 plus 18, right? Right? So we end up getting 23, right? So that minus charge up there, it tells you to add 1 into the total number of electrons. So what you want to do is actually add 1. So because that minus is there, it's telling you to add 1. So plus 1. So you really have 24 total electrons in nitrate, right? So this number is important to tell you exactly how to draw the structure, and then we will assign the formula charge to each atom. So has 3. Let me zoom in real quick. I'm going to keep that number still in the screen. It has 3 oxygens, right? Right. So let's do the non-bonding electrons. So right now it has 2, 4, 6, right? So 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24. We're done, right? But there's one thing. So if we happen to do the formal charge of this right here, we end up finding out that oxygen, right, is minus. Is the formal charge of it. Because, I mean, we can actually do it real quick. let's assign it real quick. So oxygen is in the 6, group. So it's minus number of bonds, which is 1, plus 6 electrons, right? Right. So this is 6 minus 7, which is -1, right? And that means all of them are negative, right? Because they all have the same number of bonds and non-bonding electrons. Within the nitrogen in the middle, right, would have 5 minus 3 bonds plus 0 dots. So it's 5 minus 3, that will be plus 2. And when you add all of them up,